Greetings everyone, Lumberg here. I'm excited to finally finish the first look at this new hero, Maria. Um, I think they spent more time in creating this fancy graphics of her going The Walking Dead on these zombies. And it is interesting. It does look like she is Hispanic, based on the name and her hair color. But what's also interesting is here it looks like somebody had a change of mind and looked like she was a redhead or a blonde. And then later they dyed her hair black. Okay, so let's begin. First off, where can you get it? Of course, this is a premium hero. You can't get it in the exchange store. You can get it in elite recruitment orders, but not yet because it's not available until I think after reset today. You can get it for $4.99 here, but you get it about a week later. This is probably the best deal because you get these other items. And then, of course, the second place you can get it, if you want it immediately, is this. It costs $2 extra. It does come with a little bit more items. It does come with 10 frags. If you build it, you do lose 2 frags if you, let's say, get it in an elite order. So right now, don't use any elite orders until it comes out tomorrow. You can see it here. Like basically, they'll give you a warning. If you try to actually recruit orders, right here it's going to say coming to the prize pool in about 4 hours. So after reset today. So don't use your elite orders. There is a chance you can get it from normal recruit orders too. So save those too. All right, let's dive into it. So here in this video, I've already bought it just because I wanted to do some testing and I wanted to do this content. There is, of course, it's a drillmaster hero. It has a new slot. For the most part, equipping Layla, if you have started her up, is going to give you better stats than a level 1 star for quite a bit. And you can see it just by the mastery and then look at the power increase, 12k officer power. But for our purposes, we're going to include Maria. I didn't really level her up. I just set her at level 1. That being said, let's dive into it. So, as usual, I've put together an analysis, a comprehensive analysis, but it's not as comprehensive as I like it because I don't have 6 stars in there, and there is some breakthrough level 1 skill unknown, and some of these, I've done a couple of reports, but just bear with me as we figure it out. This is fairly recent that it's come out, and I tried to create this content before a few people were asking and before you spend a lot of money. So let's take a look at Maria's basic skills. We're going to talk through all of these. So her breakthrough is weakness blitz, and at level 18 it has a 20% chance of doing 200% damage when middle or back row troops are attacking. So if you are a melee player, the few of those that are out there, this is actually no good for you. So that breakthrough skill, if you look at this table right here, is actually the worst amongst the ones that are chance-based. So it is chance-based. So if you look at Doc Gray, it's 31% chance at level 18. All of these are at level 18 to strike 150. So if you multiply 31% by 150, that pretty much gives you your effective. What's the strike rate or the chance rate times the damage inflicted? So 47%. If you look at Cattie, it's 35% times 150. So Cattie is slightly better than Doc Gray. And then Maria has a 20% chance, which is the lowest strike rate, but the highest damage. So it will create more damage when it strikes, but the effectiveness is 40%. So it's relatively worse than Doc Gray and Cattie. So that's something good to keep in mind. It does sound good, but then once you consider this actual 40% chance, it's going to strike a lot less. I am assuming that this 200% is times 2 and not plus 200%. All right, let's look at her other skills. So if you look at her base skill, we're going to talk about a lot of testing on that, so we'll come back to that. Everything else is the standard skills. She has the heal at max level. It will be 55,000, and then similar to Simon and Cattie, melee killer and long range killer. So there isn't. So again, this benefits the mid row players because there's 2 of these, but no mid row killer here. At max level, it will be 55%. So we talked about the breakthrough, which is not bad, but compared to Cattie, it's actually worse than Cattie and Doc Gray, as we just proved out. Let's talk about her eagle eye detection, her base skill, and that's what we're going to focus the rest of the video. The eagle eye detection, if you look at the description of this skill, it will basically increase the attack of your troops by the number of troop units times 7.8. So Mother of Doom is going on, so we basically did one report of Mother of Doom with Maria and one without. Took the difference, oops, I'm in the wrong place, sorry. We did one with and without. This is with level 1 Maria. And then looked at the damage. The additional damage was about 12 million here. And then in order to recalculate, and I was able to get it within 0.1. In order to recalculate it, it basically, you saw that in order for the math to work, you had to exclude zombies. So zombies do not count in her base skill. That's very important to remember. So when you're going to try to calculate this, it's going to be just your troops. Zombies do not count. So that is proven. So that's the conclusion that I've reached. And then if you look at the projected max damage, here you can see that level 1, it's 7.8. The max one is 66. How did I come up with that? Pretty simple math. Usually the mastery at level 55 for a max drillmaster hero is 1100. And so it's 6 per 100 mastery. So it's just 6 times 11. That's how you get the 66. Nobody's gotten it to max 5-star yet that I'm aware of, but we do need that for the 6-star skill. So that is going to be open, and I'll follow up this video once we get those. So if I did projected max damage for me, right, so with my stats, here you can see that the effective actual percentage damage increase that it gave was 0.4%, pretty low, but then at max level it would be 3.8%. So that would be not plus 3.8, but times 3.8 if it was multiplicative in nature. The conclusion here, though, and I'm going to show you here with is that this base skill is fixed, right? It's fixed in nature, meaning no matter it's not a percentage. And that damage is fixed, just like the Saki fleet, right? So it's an absolute number. And so it's as you will suspect that, so I did a test where I attacked a farm with T10 troops and compared the two reports where I used Maria with didn't use Maria, and I generated essentially about 0.3% more kills. So when you generate those kills, it would suggest that it acts as if it was, multiplicative, you would see that same thing in your damage output. Now, just by looking at the base stats, like meaning a T10 sniper is 208 damage. I used 2,000 snipers in the battle report. That should have generated 3.75% more because basically 7.8 is the one at level 1 skill times 2,000 gives you this. So that as a percentage of that, it should have been 3.75% higher if it was multiplicative. We clearly know that it isn't because the impact was only 0.3%, way lower than, 10 times lower than if it was multiplicative. And then if you do some simple math, my LRA is 914. If I take this approximate 3.75% increase, add it as if it would be a plus, 3.75% increase, that gets me closer to what the actual impact was of 0.3. So long story short, just like Simon, just like Cattie, the Maria base skill is additive and not multiplicative. Then we did a test with T1. What if I attacked with 500 T1 gunners? And as you suspected, because that number is fixed, the damage increase will be proportionally higher for lower level troops or weaker players. So you can see here clearly that when I was using T10 troops, the net impact was a 0.3% increase. Now using T1 troops, which is, and you can see that damage percent increase, right? So that fixed damage is almost a quarter of the damage of T1 gunners. And sure enough, then that percentage increase here, the effective increase percentage was almost 3%, 10 times higher. And so conversely, if you use T12, it's going to be even lower, right? So if you use T12 lasers, here I use like 1,000 T12 lasers, that's 10,000 units. Fixed damage as a percentage, look at that effective rate. It's now half of my T10, so it's only about 0.2%. And even if you did it at max, it's only about 1.6%. So a max, and that would be a multiplicative. If you did additive, it would be, plus whatever that percentage is. I haven't done that math. But what this basically means is two things: that the base skill is worse than Simon for sure, and that base skill is worse for people that are stronger and higher tier troops, and basically, people that are monsters. And you can see that here, because here I assume that somebody has 14,000 LR. It's a monster. The only good thing is that the fleet size being larger does increase that base fleet, or that attack impact. So if I summarize it, it doesn't apply to troops. It doesn't apply to zombies. The base skill impact. It helps weaker players and lower tier troops more. The larger your fleet gets, it will improve your skill, so that will help some of the monsters. The 6-star skills will have to follow up. And then the base skill doesn't show up in stats as far as I can see it. Maybe they missed it, but it does show up in a report. If you look at a report here where Maria is equipped, there's one more stat that got added here where you can see, this impact of 7. That's at level 1. And that is my quick summary on this. So what is my final conclusion on Maria? She is mediocre at best. Would I recommend that you get her? Yes, probably. Just because this deal is, if you're spending. If you're not spending, don't worry about it. For a very long time, Layla is going to outperform. Layla is free. Layla is going to outperform, a 2-star, even a 3-star. Possibly, if you level her up to 5-star, is going to outperform Maria for a very long time. So there's no rush in getting this. I don't even bother leveling her up, just because, as I slowly get the good deals on this, I'll maybe use her, just because, getting her to 5-star and that 6-star skills will obviously help, but that is a long journey. So if you're wanting to save some dollars, this is one that you can do without. In terms of the premium heroes, it's still, the priority remains the same. Zeus is the top. Saki would be the next, then comes Alexandria, then Simon. I would even put Cattie possibly above her, but just because of the attack boost, maybe Maria is better, especially if you're a lower level player, and, Maria may be on the same level or slightly higher than Cattie. That's where I concluded. Just because Cattie is more defensive, Maria has more attack troops, I probably will prefer her. But don't be in a rush to get her up to level 55 or really level her up and spend a lot of money. Some people have already done that. There's some ridiculous packs available, of course, and some people have bought all the way here. This I don't recommend. This is very, very not cost effective. I think even if you did this, it gets you to like 2.4 stars. It still doesn't get you to 3 stars. So avoid that. Save your elite orders, and then until it comes into the pool, and then good luck in trying to get her. If you get her in the recruit orders, you'll save 2 officer fragments because you won't have to build her. If you buy the packs, also the bingo's coming out. I can't remember if one of these buying Maria counts as one of those buy the bingo quiz pack, so you can wait on it. Don't wait on it too long, because this does have a time limit. That being said, this is probably one you can do without. Mediocre at best. That's my quick analysis. Of course, as usual, the spreadsheet, as well as I'm available for any questions, or if you find anything else that looks different. Thank you guys. Take care.